And the nice thing is, once you create these lead magnets once, as you create more organic and cold traffic and push people to your lead magnet, these are lead magnets that you can use for years to come. Hey there, my name is Nick Tam with Consulting Profits, and today I'm going to be talking about how I land consulting clients with a community funnel. And you've probably seen a lot of people talking about this, and you've been hearing a little bit more about how there's a lot less trust and people are using communities to actually scale up their high ticket offers. And this is super, super important because this is something that you can easily add into your funnel right now, especially if you're an agency owner, coach, or consultant, or even a course creator. That's going to increase your sales. And I'll show you exactly how we actually set it up and how we utilize it. And I've been doing this for quite a few years now. I've been using what I used to call group trust, right? And I found that whenever I implemented group trust, which is essentially where, any of my leads or any potential clients or people who quite weren't ready to buy yet, I tossed them into a community and added a ton of value into that community, which allows you to build trust over time and also nurture long-term clients. So you can see after doing it for a few years, I have over 5,759 people in this particular community. Now, the powerful thing about it is some people are ready to buy right away. You'll probably have generally 2 to 3% of your potential leads who are ready to buy and pay you 10K, 15K right off the bat. Then you're going to have the other 97%. The problem is that majority of coaches, consultants, and agency owners and course creators lose out on that 97% because they're not nurturing. They don't have a community to nurture people. And as humans, just when we talk about like human nature, humans love a community. I mean, naturally, we just work better in a community. That's why communities exist. So if you can add a community into your business, you're going to make a lot of money. And I'm going to show you exactly how we've kind of set up the community in a way where we can actually build group trust. And if you install group trust into your business, you're going to see that your ability to close is significantly higher, right? Your close rates are so much higher because people become pre-sold. If you set up your community in the right way, people become pre-sold on your product and service by the time they get onto a sales call. So imagine instead of you having people jumping on a sales call who are completely cold and they're questioning you as to, why you can actually help them, right? What testimonials you have, or you get a bunch of objections like I need to think about it, or I need to do more due diligence, all this stuff, or can I speak to someone, that you've already worked with? All those objections are eliminated with group trust because they go through a community. Not only that, but a lot of the time your community are going to have your clients already because a lot of your clients are going to come from your community. And then it builds this ecosystem of trust because they get to see what you're about before they actually pay you. And if you can make your community so good where it's better than most paid communities, that's where the real magic happens because that's where they'll see so much value. Ideally, they get a result from that value. But more importantly, if they see that you're giving all this away for free, they wonder, okay, well, how can you impact me if I pay you? And that's really the impact that you want to have and the goal you want to have when you build a community. So let's dive right in and kind of walk you through the entire community funnel. All right. So from a high level, basically it's a very simple funnel. So you're going to use organic traffic, whether that's your Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. Okay. LinkedIn is also a really great source. And basically drive people into a lead magnet. Okay, so the other thing too, right? It doesn't really matter how you create traffic. The point is you need traffic, so you can use cold traffic as well. We've done both. The best thing is to use a hybrid of this. If you can use both a hybrid of this stuff, it's super, super powerful, right? Where this kind of feeds into this, right? Organic is always super helpful with cold and vice versa, right? You want them both to kind of work hand in hand with each other. So get your organic and your cold traffic and push to a lead magnet. and I'll explain different lead magnets we used. But the reason why you need a lead magnet is to attract people into a community. So innately, if you just say, hey, join this community, you'll get some people say yes, you'll get some people say no, but your response rate aren't going to be as high as if you actually have a lead magnet, something of value where you say, hey, I have this lead magnet, but you need to join my community in order to access this lead magnet. So you give them a reason to join your community. It's an exchange of value where your lead magnet should be something super valuable. It shouldn't be something that's not valuable, because if it's not valuable, it's not going to work, right? They don't really have a reason to join. Then you invite them into the community in order to access the lead magnet. Now you have people in your community. From there, you're going to post value and things like that, and then really push them towards a booked call. The power of this is when they go from community to booked call instead of just lead magnet to booked call, is that there's so much nurture in between, so much more trust that's built. So what's really going to happen then is you're going to have your leverage consulting offer and then close. But you'll see and experience significant higher close rates by pushing people to a community first. So how do you actually implement this on kind of like a day-to-day? So when it comes to your lead magnet, there's a few different lead magnets that have worked incredibly well for us and things that you can use to continue to push. And the nice thing is, once you create these lead magnets once, as you create more organic and cold traffic and push people to your lead magnet, these are lead magnets that you can use for years to come, okay? And this is so powerful because when you have these lead magnets that are so leveraged, well, you're building this new community. So this community could be, like I said, I've been running mine for almost 4 years now. And a lot of the lead magnets, I maybe update once every few months. It's not something that I'm creating lead magnet after lead magnet after lead magnet. You just have to leverage the lead magnets that you have. Okay, so the best lead magnets are 5-day challenges. So we used a 5-day challenge, but what we did is we took this 5-day challenge and created a recording out of it. So the recording essentially became almost like a 5-day course, a mini course, if you will. So imagine if I said, hey, I have a whole 5-day course where it's a mini course that I did with a bunch of people who actually paid to be there, and I'm giving it away for free as long as you join my community. Most people would say yes and actually join the community because this is so valuable, and this is like super valuable. They actually got, a ton of people got fantastic results just from watching this free mini course and actually made money from watching this free mini course. And because they got a result and being part of the community, they're seeing all these other things, right? When they hopped on a book call with me, they had already made money using my tactics and strategies. So you can imagine if you've used my strategies to make money, well, I'm not really having to actually sell you. This is really just to tell you about my leverage consulting offer and really see if it's a good fit. And if it is a good fit, well, the trust is already there and it's not me fighting for their trust. I'm not there to convince them or sell them. They're there to actually see if this offer is a good fit, which is super way more fun taking those calls than taking calls where it feels like you actually have to convince someone. So 5-day challenge is a really powerful one. It's a lot of work to do, but it's very leverage because once you've done it once, you can use this and use it for years to come, right? And we still offer this 5-day mini course completely for free, and people absolutely love it. I mean, we've put thousands of people through this. Right. The next thing, which you guys have heard me talk about a lot, is an ebook. An ebook is one of those where it's super leveraged as well. And an ebook gives a ton of value because if you're getting someone to digest 20 to 30 pages of your thoughts, your strategies, and how you run your business and different strategies that they can implement, it's so powerful because by the time they read that ebook, most of them are sold. Like the craziest thing is a lot of the time when we push people to the ebook, they join the community, they're ready to book a call and basically upgrade, right, to my higher ticket offers. just from the ebook alone. And the ebook is such a quick way to take someone from cold to sold because they're just digesting so much content. And again, if you can make it valuable where someone can actually get a result, then that's even more powerful. So really focus on building good lead magnets. Don't just create half-assed lead magnets. Actually focus and actually take your time to create some really, really good lead magnets. The other thing we've done a lot of is playbooks. Playbooks are fantastic. So playbooks, I call playbooks essentially step-by-step guides, right? Where it solves a very specific problem. So for example, if I gave a playbook on how to set more appointments utilizing my strategies, it would walk through the exact strategies and how to implement it into your business. It's a playbook. So these are really powerful because people with specific problems will want this. And if it helps them solve one problem, and that problem is something that is a huge pain point for them, you solve it, they see results, they're also pretty much ready to buy. Okay. The nice thing is that they also get pushed to your community where you can nurture long-term, even if they're not ready to buy. But most of the time, your lead magnets should be so good that it convinces people and gets them a result and convinces them that your higher ticket stuff is even better. Okay. Then you got live trainings. So I used to do a ton of these live trainings where once a week I would do a live training and people would come in and ask questions, or I would be training them on a specific issue or problem. And I would do it live, which is like really powerful because they get one-to-one, well, not really like one-to-one communication with you, but they get to almost experience what it would be like to actually work with you on a closer basis. So live trainings are really powerful because it actually gives you face time with your community. And then live webinars are really good too. So very similar to a live training, except on a webinar, your goal is to actually push them to your high ticket offer. So this isn't something where I'm going to do it very often, but every so often I do a live webinar where I would basically sit down for 2 hours or so, give them a ton of value for the first hour and 45 minutes. And then the last 15 minutes, I tell them about my offers and see if that would be something that they would want to upgrade to. So that would be really good. Sorry about my throat, have a bit of a cough going. But yeah, so these are great things to use to get them into your community. But just with these alone, a lot of them are just going to be ready to go straight to a booked call. The community is just a bonus for the people who aren't quite ready. So let's say there's people who aren't quite ready to join. You want to have a community on a really active platform. The two being the two best platforms to host a community on are Facebook or School. I preferably use Facebook right now because a lot of my audience is on Facebook, but I have a ton of people who use School as well, and School is super, super effective. So this doesn't really matter. Just pick one and choose where you want to host a community. Doesn't really matter as to which one you do. The premise and foundational strategy is still the same. So once you get them into your community, you want to do daily posts. Okay. It's a lot of work to do daily posts, but daily posts is essentially where they're going to get more familiar with you. And your posts need to be revolved around different thoughts that you have, strategies, your values, and things like that. Things that aren't just like the same cut and paste stuff. So if you actually put in time to your daily posts, you actually show who you are as a person. That's what's the main differentiator. My goal, like when I post and share things, is to show my values, also show that I'm competent in what I'm talking about. I want to share strategies. I want to show proof that, I can actually walk the walk, right? And that I've helped a ton of businesses and my strategies work. But you also want to show who you are as a person, because a lot of the time people buy from people they like. In fact, all the time. I generally, for myself, when I look at who I'm purchasing from, if someone's super rude to me or they're super unethical and I don't believe in their values, I don't really care if they have the best strategy in the world. I'm probably not going to buy from them. Whereas if it's someone I really resonate with, it's someone who has achieved what I want to achieve, they have really great values that align with my values, I'm significantly more likely to buy from that person. So your goal is to demonstrate those things. And there's a whole thing on this. It's called the trust triangle. So the trust triangle is essentially 3 different parts, right? Hence the triangle. So a trust triangle is basically 3 components, and they call it the 3 C's. The first being character. Do they like you as a person, right? The second is competency. Can you actually do what you say that you're going to do? Are you competent in what you say you can help them with? And then the final thing is common sense of purpose. So common sense of purpose is essentially your values. Do your values align? So character really shows like, this is who I am. This is my personality. This is like basically me as a person. Do you like me as a person? Okay. Common sense of purpose is like, do we align on the same goals? Do we have the same missions, right? Do we have the same values in life? And then competency is like, can you actually basically perform and actually prove to me that you can do what you say you're going to do? So you can see that 2 parts of the triangle have more to do with values and and your likability as a person. So that's what your daily posts need to be revolved around, is the trust triangle. And if you can complete the trust triangle, then this becomes your calls are just basically going to be enrollment calls, not sales calls, but enrollment calls. All right. Now, on top of your daily posts, every couple days or maybe twice a week, you can invite people to work with you. Now, I don't do these too often. Your goal is not to burn out your audience and constantly pitch them. Your goal is to give as much value as possible. And then every so often you can pitch them, right? You need to put goodwill into your community before you pitch someone. All right. And I don't mean in a bad way or anything like that when I say pitch. I mean, when I say a call to action, I mean, it could be something like, hey, I have a couple spots open where my calendar is free this Friday. If anyone wants to hop on a call and talk about my offers and how I might be able to help you on a closer level, send me a DM. Could be as simple as that, right? And just inviting people to have a closer conversation with you to see if it might be a good fit. So from there, that's where the rest of the funnel is pretty much what most people are used to doing. So the difference is that your booked calls are more enrollment calls, because people who hop on this are already pre-sold. They've consumed so much of your content. If you have multiple lead magnets and all your lead magnets are in your community that they get access to, well, imagine if they consumed 4 or 5 different lead magnets. They consumed 5 to 10 of your posts over a couple of weeks. They looked at your previous posts, right, from months and months ago, and they start to go down this whole rabbit hole of just looking at all your stuff, right? By the time they get to a book call, they've probably consumed 20 to 50 pieces of your content. Now, that's super powerful because then they're already pre-sold. So in my experience, doing a community call, you're not going to get a high volume or a community funnel. Your goal is not really to get a high volume of calls. So I can tell you most agencies, coaches, and consultants, their goal is just to get volume of calls. They take X amount of calls, X amount aren't going to show, X amount are going to be bad quality leads, and they have to like basically grind every single day to get 5 to 8 calls that aren't high quality and aren't pre-sold. Whereas with a community funnel, if you get 10 to 20 high quality booked calls, sure, there's probably going to be 5 to 10 that, like 50% of them, that might not qualify to work with you. They might not qualify financially. They might not be in the right place in their business to work with you, right? So for example, for my consulting profits offer, I only work with agency owners or course creators or consultants that are doing a minimum of $10,000 a month in their business. If not, then they're not quite ready for my consulting profits offer. I have a different offer for them, but they're not quite ready for that one yet. It doesn't mean that they're a bad quality lead. It just means that they're just not in the phase of their business yet where they're a good fit. But of the other 50%, typically those are the ones you want to send an offer to, or basically pitch, right? To see if your consulting offer might be a good fit for them. So let's say you're generating 5 to 10 offers a week. At a minimum, you're closing 2 to 5 closes per week. If not, it's going to be higher, right? Sometimes you can get up to like 60 to 80% close rates, if not closer to 100% close rates. Like I have someone who's following this exact model and closed 6 out of 6, right? So 6 sales calls, 6 closes. And that's so much better than taking 40 calls and enrolling like 2 to 5 people. Like that's just so stressful to me. I don't want to take that many calls, nor do I want my closers to take that many calls because they're just going to get burnt out. So if you do this and you have your leverage consulting offer, that's 5 to 15K per close. You can do the math. It adds up to a lot of money. And that's basically how I run my community funnel, and why it's so powerful and how it's so leveraged, and why I have all the time in the world to build and make my product better, make my services better, and create content that actually gives true value. Because most of the time people are going to be stuck in, 30 to 40 calls a week, and they're stressed out because they're not enrolling the right clients. They're feeling pressured to enroll the right clients. Like for me, I don't feel any pressure to enroll clients unless I truly want to work with them. And that when you have that ability, you actually close more clients, you close better clients, client results are better. And it really stems from having the right lead magnets and a community that you're actually building goodwill and value into, and having the trust triangle. All that compounds into basically, 2 to 5 closes per week at $5,000 to $15,000 per close. And at that point, it's easily scalable, and you can make a ton of money if you wanted to crank the volume, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me know if you implement the community funnel into your business. I'm really keen to see how you guys do with it, and let me know your results. If you like this kind of content, I post a ton of content like this all the time. Just hit the subscribe button and do me a favor and also like the video. It helps me a ton. So let me know if you guys want to see anything specific. But again, also hopefully this was super valuable to you. Let me know if you have any questions on it. Other than that, I will see you in the next one.